So at this point, you've made your chatter picks with your main character's monologue and perspective, and now you're going to put that into an explain everything. So I want to give you a little tutorial of explain everything. It's really simple, but also really powerful once you get into it. So the explain everything app is on the iPads, and you need to look and find what looks like a blue exclamation point in a speech bubble. So you'll click on the explain everything app, and when you open it, it'll say backups maybe if anyone has made anything on this app on the iPad. If not, it'll just be blank. So you're going to hit the little plus button in the upper left-hand corner, and I would just choose the water template, the white background, and then this is your explain everything box. And right now it looks really plain, but there's a lot of things that you can do with it. The most important things are going to be these little buttons on the left-hand side. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. These are all the buttons that you'll be using all along this direction. So the top one on the left is your writing function. So if you click it one time, you will be able to write on the screen like this. But if you press and hold it, it will pop out with a different width, with a different pen tip, so whether you want it to be faded or solid. If you want to change the color, you go down to the bottom left, you touch and hold on a color, and then you can pick what color you want. So I want the rainbow wheel to show. So pick on a color, and then I'll write, my favorite color is purple. So I'll write in purple. And there you go. So that's how you're writing. There's also shapes. So if there are important shapes that you want to draw, there are some basic ones here. Again, this one's going to be purple because I already chose purple as the color. There's also text. So if you wanted to create a scene, you can create a text box, and you can type in your text box like this. Again, it's purple because I chose purple. Let's say I want to go back and move the star though. I'll just go back to the star, click on it, and move the star. So there's your basics of what's possible in Explain Everything. Where things start to get really good is when you hit the square with the plus button. And the square with the plus button is how you insert an object into Explain Everything from outside of the app. So you can import an existing photo or video, which is what you're going to do with your ChatterPix. You can open a web browser. So let's say you wanted to give a little tutorial of a website. You could give a tutorial with a web browser. You can take a new picture, and you can also take a new video, all within Explain Everything. So I'm going to go ahead and choose a camera roll, and I'll just pick see this one. So this is a little ChatterPix that I created, and so my ChatterPix will then play within the Explain Everything once I choose it to start. So this is all one slide, but let's say, for example, you want to make a second slide. Down at the bottom, you'll see slide 1 of 1, and you'll hit the little plus sign, and suddenly you have 2 slides. So this is your second slide. You can always click over and go back to your first one, then over to your second one. What I would recommend when you're doing your book report and you're doing your summary, you create your slides ahead of time. So you put your pictures in, you put your ChatterPix in, you put anything that you want into your Explain Everything. Because ultimately what you're going to end up doing is you're going to end up recording your voice over the Explain Everything. So what I'll do now to show you how that's going to work is I'll go back to slide 1. I'll click on my ChatterPix. I have to click up on the little pointer in the top left. I'll click on my ChatterPix, and it'll enable me to play my ChatterPix. Now, you won't be able to hear anything because I have a cord plugged into my iPad so I can record this screen, but if I play the ChatterPix, I can then hit the record button at the bottom. The record button at the bottom is the way that I record my Explain Everything. So I'm going to hit the record button, then I'm going to press play on my ChatterPix, and that will all be recorded into my Explain Everything movie. So here's step 1, press the record button. All of this voice that I'm saying right now is now being recorded. You can see the timer at the bottom of the screen. So you could give a little introduction, you could say the title of your book, the author of your book, then you can say whatever you can. Let's say you didn't even have your ChatterPix on the first slide. You had other pictures or other text on the first slide. You could narrate that before then going to the second slide, all still in the same recording, even though the timer shows differently. Now I'll go back to the first slide. and I'm going to choose scroll to the end and record because I want it to keep recording with the same. So now my Chatterpix, I'm going to click it and I'm going to hit play. And if this were, I had actually already previously recorded this with a speech about what Jesus would have said during the Last Supper, this will all be recorded into my Chatterpix. So at this point, I'm going to hit the pause button, and that is my final movie. So now I have 2 slides. And now that I think about it, you actually do need to go in order, so you can't jump back to slide 1 like I just did because mine's going to be out of order now. So all slide 1 recording, then all slide 2 recording, so on and so forth. This then will be exported to Google Drive as a video. So what you're going to do is you're going to hit the button that looks like the little play with the arrow pointing out, and you're going to choose to save this to more, and then you'll choose to Google Drive. So you'll save it to your Google Drive, hit the export button, and this is going to be saved as a video file to Explain Everything. To Google Drive. If you're not done yet, and you're still working on it and you want to work on it in the next class, instead of saving it as a video file, up at the top you see video file, PDF file, image file, project. You're going to save it as a project because what that's going to allow you to do is pull it back from Google Drive onto the iPad that you get during the next class to work on during the next class. You'll hit the export button and then that file will be saved to your Google Drive. If somebody else's Google Drive is already logged into, what you can do is you can hit the home button, save the changes that you did on your project, and then up at the top right there's a little wheel. You'll click accounts and you'll turn off the Google Drive account. So mine you see turned on. You'll turn off the Google Drive account and that'll disconnect the person's Google Drive from, that will then enable you to go into Google Drive and log into your account. So that's the basics of Explain Everything. I have created little videos, so if you want and you feel really comfortable on the iPad, you can create a video and Explain Everything, export it to your camera roll, open it in iMovie, speed up the voice, slow down the voice, make some changes to the speed of things in Explain Everything or in iMovie, pull it back into Explain Everything. You can do animations during your recording because nobody knows that your finger is actually touching it. And that is this is a lot of things that you can do with Explain Everything. Let me show you a project. I'll send the link also to you, to your teachers, of the projects that I did in Explain Everything so you can see how I did it and what I did to start. I created it in Explain Everything, didn't do any recording, pulled it into iMovie, sped it up, recorded it in iMovie, pulled it back into Explain Everything, and edited it again. But it was all created between Explain Everything and iMovie. So those are the basics, and if you have any questions, ask your teachers, and I will also be around to help as well.